going to you. Well, we should. SLR Sam has joined the lobby. Great stuff. Well, we should be live. Probably everyone is watching a advertising now, so they won't hear my intro. But hello, everyone. Welcome to the SLR SidePOD of season 6. The first one of season 6 should be episode 31, if I'm not mistaken. There's a slight catch this year in the SLR SidePOD. It's about realistic division you're seeing now instead of just a boring Wednesday race. Well, we're joined by Zydra, Will.
Hello.
We're joined by Owen. We're joined by, Gatus. We're joined by Ranga and myself, SLR Dylan. So today we'll be talking about all F1 2021 predictions. I've got a bunch of statements on which those guys can respond, and hopefully the people in the chat respond to, and then we'll get hopefully a lovely side pot. Does anyone want to sing a song before we get started?
Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake. Come on, boys.
Well, let Google play it, please.
That'll take way too long. Takes about a minute and a half to get to the chorus.
So I've got 7 predictions, which is not too much because I've got to work in the morning, so that's why. I'll send those predictions. Ringen, you want me to send them to you, right?
Whatever you want, mate, yeah.
I mean, I'll do it anyway. Copy Discord. Paste. So I'll just read out the first prediction. And it's by SLR Sam, this one. The prediction is Sergio Perez wins a race before Max Verstappen does this season.
Ooh.
Alright, so who wants to get started on this one?
Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
So I think there was a side pod a couple months back, or a couple weeks back, when I said that I'd love it if Perez went to Red Bull, because I think it was a decent fit for him. I think, to be fair, I think they compensate each other quite well. I wouldn't say they're similar, but I think they're of equal ability, and I'd say probably Max just pips it. I just think because Sergio's going to have a bit more of a point to prove, I think he'll probably go for it a little bit more, maybe. So I think he probably could pip Max. Obviously, that depends on how Mercedes start the season. I think if Mercedes are anything like last season, I think they'll certainly struggle to win anything, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
But anything can happen.
Yeah, we've seen that last year. Well, Sam sent me this prediction. Well, not really a prediction, just something that might happen, I guess. He said that, so my thinking here is that there will be one race in which Max will be affected negatively. Is that right pronunciation? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And Perez will be the one to take the win, just because Max is going for moves that he shouldn't do. And Perez will just keep a cool head, I guess. Well, is that really happening? Perez getting a win? Sure, I really feel like Perez is faster than Albon. But if Mercedes aren't that dominant like they were last year, going into this year, I don't see Red Bull winning more than 2 or maybe 3 races. So Perez winning one of them, I'm not sure actually. Anyone else? Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I think we can unanimously agree that Perez might do a better job than Albon.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think Max is grossly underestimated in terms of how much he gets out of that car. I think he gets a lot more out of the car than I think anyone else would, because it's really tailored to his needs and tailored to his driving style. I think he'd still be number 1 no matter what.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I'm really interested in Red Bull going into the 2022 season actually, because obviously they've seen over these past years that it's not really working the car to build it to one of their drivers. So that'd be really interesting to see Red Bull, what their approach will be for the 2022 season. Because I'll guess they won't make a car that is built for only one driver in particular. Well, I guess that's Rixie has says something in the poll chat, and he says that he don't think it will happen. Perez winning a race before Max does. And well, I think everyone agrees on that, unless Ranga says no. I don't agree on that.
I mean, realistically, I don't think Perez will. It probably might take him a bit more time to come to terms or get to grips with the car. Saying that he's quite an experienced bloke now, so I can't imagine it'll take him that long. I wouldn't be surprised if Perez won a race before Max, because we all know how good he is. But I wouldn't. It's kind of, I don't know, a bit contradictory. But I would be surprised as well, because it's Max. He's pretty immense in that car. But I don't know. I'm on the fence. I think Sergio's obviously shown his class this season, but Max is just pretty awesome given the machinery he's got. So yeah, I'm not really too sure.
Oh, race roller just went off.
Yeah,
oh,
I
you want
was
to
gonna-
add something there?
There's a virtual safety car. I was just going to say, realistically, if it would be down to just how competitive Red Bull are compared to Mercedes next season, because if they're competitive and like we'll say a lot closer than it was last season, then I would expect that it would be Max that would get there first. But I guess it would be more likely that if they aren't so competitive, then Perez would win a race first in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if the first few races of the season aren't that chaotic as the race in Monza, as an example, was, I don't see it happening. I guess we'll just move on to the second prediction. I'll send it to Ranga first.
I think Scopes wants to join, so I think he's. I'll give him an invite.
Get him in. Yeah, get him in. Get him in.
Right.
I sent you the poll.
Yeah.
So
Going
I'll
in.
just
Going
call it
in.
on the stream then.
Oh.
Mercedes will easily win both the constructor and championship title yet again. Well, yeah, go on.
I don't think they'll win them easily, but I do think they will win them.
All right.
I agree.
So who's that?
Oh, I thought you were wanting an
Wait,
invite
what?
to the stream. Sorry.
Sweet. Have you got
All right, so we'll go. We'll continue, I guess. Well, like Ranga said, not easily. I guess they'll have a harder race or a harder year on their hands, seeing that Red Bull won the last race in Abu Dhabi. However, there were rumors about Mercedes turning the engine down. Who are those fucking guys?
Oh god.
well?
Yeah, great grip, lad. Get a grip.
What age
Oh,
are
input the
these guys?
party.
Fucking
Oh.
hell, man.
Is it me? Is it?
Yeah,
Well, I'll
it's
do
you.
that I don't know where it's my
Alright,
party.
we had some
Oh,
issues
it's
here.
left, didn't he? I'll do that now.
Yeah, because I have, yeah. So yeah, there were some rumors about Mercedes turning the engine down because of those failures for Perez in Bahrain and Russell too. Yeah, no worries, mate. So I really think that Red Bull's closer to Mercedes this year. So they won't win it easily, but I think, well, probably Lewis and Mercedes will win it again this year. Any thoughts on that? Any difference?
I mean, predicting Mercedes to win both isn't really unpredictable.
The ball one.
It's not the boldest of predictions I've ever seen. It's pretty. I think they're clearly going to be favourites to me. So yeah, I'd expect they would be to win, but really, I also kind of feel like if there's anyone else that's going to win, it'll be Red Bull. But
Yeah.
Partly, what does it feel like? Well, I hope it's closer than it was last season, but part of me kind of feels like it could be. But yeah, I don't know what, because they I know Mercedes kind of left focus for the rest of the season, focused on next season, and towards the end. So
Yeah.
kind of change it up a little bit.
Well, I guess it might be a thing about maybe hoping and realistically thinking. I think everyone hopes that Red Bull can really, give Mercedes a run for their money. But on the other hand, if you be realistic, I think Mercedes is just too dominant with their last year's car. I think with even no upgrades, they'll probably still win the Constructors' Championship to that car. It really depends on how much Red Bull wants to invest in this car to, and not start thinking about the 2022 car. Obviously, they've started thinking about that, hopefully. But yeah, most definitely the most interest isn't on this year's car and definitely on 2022. So it will really be interesting in which teams are going to putting development in this car throughout the end of the year. We'll check the poll section. Rixie actually put a cross, so doesn't think that Mercedes wins both the constructors and driver championship. I made another poll which is about Red Bull maybe reducing the gap. The poll is Red Bull reduces the gap to Mercedes to 120 points. Last year's gap was 254. So, what do you think?
I mean, it's doable, given it's going to be on tracks that are going to have a lot more like characteristics, whereas in the refined one they had a lot of similar characteristics because they're mainly Tilga tracks. You had like Russia and Abu Dhabi. I don't know, tracks like Zandvoort, China, they're going to offer up something new, I reckon. Because Red Bull have always been good in the cornering speeds compared to Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
I think realistically,
Looks like what we're racing around now, Suzuka might be a bit more close as well.
Yeah.
I think realistically, I think the constructors kind of depends on how Bottas does, to be honest. Because if Perez and Verstappen are getting on a podium consistently together, and Bottas is missing out, then obviously it's going to become a bit more interesting, which I think will probably happen. I can probably see Perez and Verstappen knocking out, not maybe winning every race, but maybe getting second and third more often than Mercedes getting on both drivers on the podium. But I could be wrong, but I'd like to see it that way, because I certainly think that Max and Perez are a decent partnership. I think Sergio brings a bit more experience than what Max does, but obviously Max can know how to drive the car better. But we shall see.
Yeah, it could be a really interesting one. Obviously, I think I had a lot of Red Bull fans are really happy with Perez, contrary to Albon. But we won't get into that because that's going to be a long discussion. The next poll is about Williams. It's Williams to finish 8th or better in the Constructors' Championship.
I'm going to go out with a flat no here. The car's just not going to be developed enough, I don't think.
Sorry,
I reckon they'll finish ninth.
No, the other one wasn't really a poll, so
okay.
yeah, go on. Art.
Just feel like they're not going to finish last, but they'll finish ninth.
I think ninth.
Alright, so we'll finish last.
Solid.
There it has.
They were a lot closer last season.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And really, if luck went their way, more theirs than it did to the other teams last season, they probably could have done that.
George
Like
had a couple
they
points,
did
yeah.
start working a bit more on the race pace because, of course, the early stage of the season, it was very solely like both of the cars were much quicker in qualifying than they were in a race.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But,
Right.
don't remember what I should say. I feel like maybe someone like Haas or Alfa Romeo would probably fill that last spot instead.
Yeah, it's really about Haas, Alfa Romeo, or Williams, I'd say. That's why I thought that maybe Williams could finish into P8 because of Haas and Alfa Romeo. Well, it's probably. I'm not sure actually. Like Will said earlier, it's really about the development that goes into the car, and obviously 2022 is a new era for F1, and I think that Williams has set their targets on that instead of a shitty 21 car, which they can win. Well, like obviously a lot of money with, but since the car is that bad, well, I'm not really seeing happen. Unless anyone else has got any comments on that.
I think you've kind of summed it up, really.
I see someone hoping Ryan Liam. Oh yeah. I think that's probably, like I just said, that's probably what it will be. We'll just go on to the next little poll prediction. Well, this is probably an easy one. Mazepin to finish last in drivers' championship without any points.
I hope he does, the prick.
Let's hope so.
I hope he does.
I'm saying I hope he does, but I don't think he will. I think
Oh,
I
why do you
think
think-
Steve
why
will
do you-
finish behind him.
Why do you hope that? Why do you hope Mazepin finish last, man?
I mean, realistically, Latifi could get a lucky 11th place and Mazepin can get 0 points.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, facts.
Could be
Therefore,
vice versa.
boom,
Well,
shakalaka,
Haas
win-win
cars.
situation.
I think Mazepin scores a point this season, not gonna lie.
I mean, has to have a boat of a car. I'm not sure about that one.
Mate, Haas underrated.
And Nikita Mazepin will probably get too many license points.
That, I mean, to be honest, that would have been should have been a poll. That's really a thing.
Yeah, I think after all the backlash he's had, he's probably, I wouldn't be too surprised if he's like probably been working hard to make sure kind of he eradicates that. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually like a reasonably clean driver next season, at least compared to what he was last season in F2.
hmm Well, let's just hope he learns from his mistakes, I'd say.
Exactly.
For the good. Well, I don't think there's much to say on that. I think everyone agrees on that.
Yep.
I guess we'll just go on to the next. McLaren to win more than one race this season. Obviously, McLaren's got the new engine in it, Mercedes engine.
Who chucked that one in?
That's interesting.
Mate, anonymous mate.
Well, Mr. Anonymous, you are really, really optimistic.
I was about to say, it's actually, that's a very
Really
optimistic.
optimistic.
Bold.
I think McLaren have got a good chance of finishing third in constructors again. I don't think they'll win any races.
I mean, I'd love to see it happen because it would be a crazy season. But it's just one of those like, what do you think? What do you really think? And what do you hope? I think this is just a hope one. We all hope to see McLaren win more than one, two races,
Exactly.
or one race. But
Even to win one, I think they'd be lucky to get one.
yeah, did they win one race last year? They did not.
No.
They were close in Monza, I think.
Yeah, Sainz came second, I think, and Norris got a podium in the first race this season. I think he
Oh, yeah,
won.
true. Yeah. Yeah, those were the only ones. Despite McLaren getting third, only 2 podiums, if we're not missing any. Well, let's say like that. McLaren to get more than 3 podiums this season. Is that likely to happen then?
I'd like to say yes. It really. I think a lot of the season's going to depend on how Red Bull do. No, it's pretty bold to say, but I still think Ferrari is slightly off. I think Sainz is a great driver. I think that's a good acquisition, but I still think it's very dependent on Red Bull. If they have a strong season, like I think they might, then it's going to be interesting to see who else can get on the podium. I mean, Max pretty much secured third spot himself the whole of last season, so he was Mr. Bronze place, but it really, I think generally it really does depend on Red Bull. Obviously, I'd love to see McLaren do better. McLaren obviously a British team, and it'd be good to see them do well. I think Danny Rick's definitely a decent driver to come and race for them. Adds a bit more experience and will certainly help Norris out, but I think they're pushing a bit too much, maybe to get on the podium as frequently as we would like.
Yeah, like I said, definitely depending on Red Bull, but however, from what we've seen from the last race in 2021, in 2020, I think Red Bull will be more on it than last season. And on that note, I don't think that McLaren will be well, how do you say that in English, like a multiple or podium spot. We'd love to see it happen. However, I don't think it's really realistic. The next poll is Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin to become best of the rest, so P5.
So P5.
Yeah, because obviously normally we had a top 3 with Ferrari, but Ferrari isn't in there, so...
I mean, at the moment, it's looking like P3 best of the rest.
Yeah.
And I don't know, saying Vettel best of the rest, when I'd even argue that Racing Point / Aston Martin is already the best of the rest.
Yeah.
I say that it's pretty likely.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
to be
gonna-
honest,
obviously he's
Racing
got
Point would have
Stroll,
finished top 3 last season if they didn't get that points deduction. Like
Yeah, definitely.
they're-
Bahrain really...
This is the third best team. I mean, people argued that they were even the second best team, didn't they? So, as I was saying, because of just how much people reckon Max is overperforming the Red Bull album. Let's say how he wasn't actually doing too bad and he was actually driving as much as he could. But
As much as I think Vettel did decent, I don't think he will finish it.
nah.
I think it'll be Ricciardo.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I'd say so.
in the McLaren.
It depends
I
if
just-
McLaren actually keep on the momentum, because towards the end of the season they're kind of dropping off, aren't they?
Oh, so
Yeah,
slightly,
they
I
were
think.
slightly and got quite a couple of decent results, which helped them out a lot.
I think the fact that Ricciardo did get a couple of third places and probably did his confidence a bit of decency last season, I think he's going to want to take that into McLaren, definitely.
So, who are we leading McLaren? Is it Norris or Danny Rick? What do you say?
I think it'd be
I
Rick.
think experience really will just
Yeah.
Yeah,
take Ricciardo over the line.
but it'll be a good little rivalry, I think. But I think Ricardo just about have the better nice.
Well, obviously, Ricciardo had trouble with Max at Red Bull. So, we're not seeing that happen again with Norris then?
I don't know.
Great.
Wanna weigh in,
Great.
Yeah, sort that rank. Let's just go with what you said.
You're the decider, mate. You're the decider.
What was the question, sorry?
Vettel best of the rest. Will he be best of the rest?
Nah, I
Theoretically,
think,
do you think that will come
Nah.
fifth, if not who?
nah.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
gonna
chuck
say,
it saying yeah, he will.
I'm going to say Danny Rick in the Mercedes-powered McLaren.
Well, I mean, for me, it's like, obviously when Red Bull had Honda too for the first season, everyone, well, particularly in the Netherlands, everyone was like, yeah, Max is going to be champion, he will be constructor champion now too, but I think that new engine really needs to fit in the car, and obviously it's a new engine, completely different than the Renault engine. So I'm actually thinking that the first year in the McLaren will not be that great.
It won't be a smooth sail, yeah, especially because of the 2021
obviously
regulations.
so they're improving into the season, but with the focus on the 2022 car.
It also means they used up all their tokens to put that new engine, whereas all the other teams will still have tokens to improve their car for next year.
Yeah, so therefore I'm definitely not saying that either McLaren driver will finish fifth, and therefore I'll say that that's a pretty good prediction. I'd say Vettel in fifth. Well, what more to say about it? I hope he does. He's a great bloke.
I think the midfield will be very interesting this year. Got a lot of teams that
Yeah,
definitely got a
will
shot.
it be more? Will it be more like even more interesting than last year, or
Are we just disregarding
obviously-
Ferrari completely, or?
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say.
no,
Because
definitely not.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
they've said, but at least, well, it's been rumoured around that Ferrari's supposed to be a lot better than they were last year. I mean, it's not going to be hard to get much worse, but
I mean, we'll have to wait till
expect it will
February
be better.
for winter testing, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say we should
Yeah.
definitely revisit this topic after pre-season testing.
Well, Ferrari's always fast in pre-season testing, and then, well, they're not really.
Yeah,
that
they
fast
ramp
in
up to the
Australia,
absolute max in pre-season testing. Ramp up too much clearly
And then
because
just
the
a great
engine blows up and
disappointment.
becomes really slow.
We're not really much Ferrari fans in this part, CSC.
mean-
So yeah. Well, like last year,
Has there really been a Ferrari
really
fan
improved.
since 2008?
Great stuff, this.
As soon as
All the Ferrari
as soon
fans
as
who were
Mercedes
watching the
stepped in,
stream
all
are
of a
now
sudden there's a
gone.
load of Mercedes fans. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, the only Ferrari fans were Ferrari fans because Seb was in the team, so they're gone too now.
Exactly.
Well, to be honest, like last year, they really improved during the season, so they might, well, get on the right foot straight away, and maybe just Ferrari in the top 5 and Q3 in Australia, if we're gonna race in Australia. Well, that's pretty much all the freaking predictions I had on my notes. What more to talk about? Well, maybe the new SLR season, which is coming up.
Yeah,
this
I think,
Friday, big
I
one.
think we should chuck in some of our own predictions here live.
Yeah, what do you think about
Stick our necks
join?
on the line out. on the line.
Yes.
on the street
I'm
for a
ready
race
to
race
make
against the
myself
out.
to become a meme.
Alright,
That
so
happened a
what do
few
we want
months
to do?
ago,
Just
Chief,
join
but-
Constructors Champions.
Yeah.
Alright, so who is saying this year for Elite Champion?
I am going to go out on a limb and say it's going to be the debutant Hooperlicious to win the Elite Drivers' Championship.
Alright. Jordan?
I think it will be either Ham or Jam. I just think
One,
they're
well,
just.
be one, it'll be one.
That's not a bold prediction.
Oh, well, I just
It will either be one of the Elite Drivers.
I'm gonna say,
He's one of the 20 full-time drivers as it stands.
yeah, all right. I'm gonna go for Jam. Just the reason why I've said both of them is
Ooh.
because I just think they're both aliens at this game, and yeah, I just think Jam's just like that.
Owen?
From a team perspective, I hope it's somebody from realistically, probably not. I'd like it to be Freeman, but just from a McLaren's perspective. But I think it would probably be Ham to go back to back. I think.
Alright, Rango, how
Cooper
about you?
is a good approach up there.
I'm gonna stick my neck out there. Really, I'm gonna sort of go for a bit of bold prediction. I think, Ham, Hoop, Jam are all solid shouts. However, I do think that if things go their way and they avoid some of the mistakes they made last season, / have a bit more luck, I think we could see either Midzi and or the one and only Zardrad up there this season.
Yeah.
Up the Merc.
Up the Merc. I mean,
I've got
I'll throw a side prediction again. I said who will win the Drivers'
side bet?
Championship, right? I reckon Ham and Jam will finish on the
Yeah.
exact same point total.
Jesus,
Alright, note that one,
that'd be
please.
mental if that
the
was.
limbs.
Yeah,
I have.
That'd be absolute fingers.
Tell you what,
They
someone
haven't
that
got
I reckon could do some decent this year. Be Ghost Colt. I've seen he's got a
Yeah.
new wheel recently, and I'm
Is he fast with it?
excited to see what he can do. I haven't seen too much of him since he's got a new wheel, but I mean, he's done the same upgrade as I have from the TMX to the E920. Some say it's an upgrade, some don't. But he's done the same thing as me, and I've definitely got quicker since then. So I wouldn't be surprised if he improves a bit. It might take him a bit longer than it did me, because I'm pretty sure he runs a little bit more assist than me. But be my expectation.
I'd love
I
to
have-
see him do well though. Every time we think about potential contenders and stuff, he's always overlooked. He's so criminally underrated.
Oh god. I'm not sure if you got a stream on, but well, both Sidra and Crispy. I'll not comment too much on it. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
He's just very, very, very underrated.
Who is?
Ghost Colt. He's very underrated. He doesn't really get the credit he deserves for his performances.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh my god. Honestly. Sorry.
What did you just do?
Yeah.
Scopes just spent right in
Crispy
front of me.
collided with Crispy, and then
Before
I have
taking scopes.
he collided with Crispy.
I have another prediction for Elite, if that's cool.
Oh. Yeah, sure.
And this guy's going to hate me saying this, but there is a reason behind it. Now, I don't think this person's going to be completely up there with Pace for the start off with, but because I know how he races, I know he's quite good at keeping out of trouble. I would love to see him finish in the top 10, and that is Southerners. He's going to really hate me for saying that, and I've probably put him under a bit of pressure now. But I think he's got very good. I think he's got. If I could actually speak, he's like I said, he's very good at not getting himself into trouble. He's very good tactically. Maybe his quality might let him down with the elite pace. I don't know. I hope it doesn't. I hope he does really well in quality and get some decent points in. But I think he's got a good chance of finishing in the top 10. I don't think he'll finish high, but I think he'll finish in the top 10.
In the overall season, right?
In the overall season, yeah.
Yeah.
I would be absolutely over the moon for him if he does, because he did. I didn't congratulate him as much as I probably should have done, because I know how much winning that Div 1 title meant to him. And I really hope he carries on his form into next season, and I really hope he does well. That's not just bias, because
Well,
he's my mate. I think he genuinely does think he's a very good driver, and it'd be interesting if he could finish hard than his brother as well.
Yeah, like you said, I'm putting a bit of pressure on him. I think that's his biggest advantage. There's just absolute no pressure on him. If he does well, he does. But if he doesn't get like P10 or like P9 every now and then, I don't think people are that surprised, because Elite are absolute aliens.
I think
that's
Smokes one. If he keeps practicing like he is right now, he's definitely gonna be on the end of some good results. He nearly got a couple of really good results last season. But he's just addicted to the game right now, and he's only going to keep getting faster. So he's definitely one to keep an eye on. But to see how long his will to continue practicing lasts, really. But I think he's definitely a contender. Should not necessarily for a championship, but contender for a good season. Should things start?
Maybe a contender for Elite 0.5.
Yeah,
Elite
yeah,
0.5
definitely.
maybe. Well, I guess we could just go on to Div 1. Who are you saying Div 1 champion for the SLR Season 6 then?
So again?
Div 1 champion in SLR?
This is hard.
Maybe want to name yourself then?
No, absolutely not. No, I think I'd be lucky to get top 10 this season. I think. It's tricky. This is really hard. I'm gonna go with Czech.
Ooh.
My ex-teammate.
Alright.
Yeah, he was one I was
yeah,
thinking
right.
about.
I'd love to have I'd love to see him have a good season. Get on well with him. He deserves to have a few. Well, aside, he's been here for a while now, and he's not had a proper run at it yet. And I think, if he does what he's capable of doing, he's more than capable of winning the championship.
Who's this, sorry?
Yeah, Czech. From a personal level,
Czech.
I'd love to see him win it, because he's a good mate of mine within the league, and I think he's got a really good shot. I think McEwen as well. He's very, very solid shout. Just two that come to the top of my mind, really. But they're both two of my mates, so that's probably why. But they're both like very, very like hard to really choose between. And I'm probably missing several other people. That's the beauty of Div 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely multiple. Well, contestants.
I was just going to say, what's an interesting thing when you go through the lower divisions that aren't elite is that you do have, as we call the system, don't we, with the first 6 races. If someone's excelling too much, then they might find themselves in a higher division. So you've got to kind of steer clear of that. And so if there's somebody now that you think's really, really quick, they might not be in the division come the end of the season. So it's very tough to kind of do divisions like this. I would feel like I know just from practicing and seeing, Rando's pretty much been on the game like non-stop since Abu Dhabi. Like he doesn't leave the game at the minute, and so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets up to course. He's a long mate of mine, many years, so I'd like to see him do well. And he looks, they reckon he's the quickest out of the 3 to 2 that have gone up, which is kind of role reversal than what it was when we thought about it. So he looks the quickest of the 3 so far, and I would like to see him do well. But then again, he could possibly, if he's too quick, then he could go up. So that's the bigger question, really. Same with the likes of Sem, and Bunny could do quite well, I think, as well. He's quick on his day. There's a lot of very decent drivers in Div 1, must be said.
I'm going to chuck in that Div 1 will literally have the lowest points total for the champion, because there's about 12 people. If you said they're going to win the title, I would be like, yeah, seems about right. Because there's so many contenders for a race win that it's just going to be all over the shop. It's going to be like the F2 season in real life, where it could literally be anyone. And maybe one or two. Both the Mercs are strong up the Merc. And then you've got both the Red Bulls are strong as well. JH and Guna, two solid, consistent drivers. You've got the upcoming talents from Div 2 who could literally jump in and probably get a podium or two straight off the bat. You've got so many OGs of Div 1, like Clock, even Predators. Predators could get within a shout. He's got the gold strats, so he could pull one out the bag. But for a title, it's a really tough one to call. I reckon this is the toughest one.
Oh yeah.
But I'd probably go with someone like McEwen. I'd probably say McEwen or one of the Merc lads, I reckon. If I wasn't being biased, I'd say McEwen. But I believe
it could be down to another consistency again, which is very much the reason why Southerner did so well and won the championship. He was very consistent most of the season. So you could see someone like Clock win it, who tends to be quite consistent as well. He's rarely ever like winning pace, but like last season, I was in a party with Ranger, of course, we were distant teammates, so to speak, and like every race it was, Clock's in the top 3. How the hell did he get there? It's so you never know. Something like that could happen.
We can never rule him out. He's been second in the championship.
Yeah, I would say for me it's between Clock and JH.
Interesting. Yeah, that's definitely a good shout.
I think it will be Clock. I think there's obviously a bit of a battle between him I think it will be.
I don't think I love Clock. I'd love him to win the championship, but I don't think he will. I think the division now is the strongest it's ever been, and he's come runner-up in 2 seasons when he could have won it. So I don't think he's going to make it third time lucky.
I think he will.
I don't think he's got it in him. I could be wrong, and for his sake, I hope I am. But I think there's several other people.
As long as Callum isn't working, he could win.
Depends.
Cheers.
Depends if Callum's working or not.
It depends on what the delay is between McEwen taking his sandbags off. Like, is he going to wait until the 6th race of the season when he can't be moved anymore, or is he going to go straight? Is he just going to go full steam ahead from Australia? Knowing him, he's probably going to sandbag it first 5 races, and then
he'll beg his boss for overtime.
Yeah, exactly. And he's going to win the championship by 100 points come Japan, and he's going to pray for extra overtime, and then not race anymore. And yeah, no, I'm joking.
Yeah,
But he's
he's probably absolutely fuming if he listens to this right now.
Oh, I mean,
His head
I'm gonna,
is gone.
It's gonna be gone.
I'm probably gonna get a clip of that particular section for him and just send it to him personally, like hand delivered. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright. What about constructors? Are we saying constructors wise?
What joint? I think can we
No,
just
it's in
appreciate the
F1
strength of
constructors.
fucking Mercedes and Renault teams, by the way.
I mean,
Joint.
I don't mean to pick a good selection, but I don't. You know, I had no part in this.
I'd love to see Mercedes do well because they don't ever do well in SLR. So I'd
Exactly.
I'd like to see
we
Mercedes
announced it
do
in
well.
the awards. I announced it in the awards I was going to be going to Mercedes for the pure reason that I love the design and I want to break the curse. That's going to be my goal, to break the curse, get like a top 3 maybe, or in the joint constructors, because they've never really been successful as far as I've known.
I
might be wrong.
think constructors would be either Mercedes or Renault. Yeah.
I mean, McLaren are pretty.
Yeah, I'm not crying in the corner right now. Definitely not. Where am McLaren in all this? Consistency is going to be a big factor with McLaren because I would say everyone, if they can keep it together in a race, not mentioning names at Steve-O, but if everyone can do something well, I reckon at a push, everyone could get at least one podium this season in McLaren. Very much of a push. I mean, I think the only ones not to have won a race are me, Steve-O. It's just me and Steve, actually, I think. Yeah. Which is not shots, but yeah. I'd like to see us do well.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, diff one.
I mean,
constructor champions Mercedes.
I mean, yeah. I think we should carry on to Div 2, I reckon, before we get into joint constructors.
Oops.
No, it's my fault. I kind of sidetracked us there, but
That's right.
That's
straight to
fine.
mine.
So yeah, Div 2. I'm just gonna say Div 2. As long as Darcy isn't gonna get moved up.
I mean, okay, speaking of people moving up, right? People think that Mercs can get moved up to elite and blah blah blah, right? I really don't think there is any difference of a gap between the top of Div 1 and the bottom of elite to the point where I don't think you can really move anyone up or move down because it's such fine margins. Everyone in elite deserves to be in elite, and everyone at the top of Div 1, but I'd say the top 6, 7 of Div 1 probably could have a good shot at elite, to the point where it's just elite overfill. It's just overflow, sorry. Like, it's just, the overflow goes into Div 1, meaning that the gap
Yeah,
between
I think-
the top of the Div 1 and the bottom of the elite is 9U, to the point where there's no point really moving anyone up.
Yeah, I think the only one really at the minute that isn't, I would say the smallest overlap between divisions at the minute is the top of Div 2 and the bottom of Div 1. I would say that's like the smallest margin because we were seeing like throughout last season how Div 2 and Div 3 were so close. And I think it will still be very similar this season because we were expecting about 6-7 drivers from Div 3 to swap with some more from Div 2 and we only got, I think, 4 at the end. And of course, Cal Smith couldn't make it, so we've only got 3 now. But yeah, we weren't sure because originally to start off with, we were seeing a clear like 6 drivers. We were like, oh, all of those 6 can come up, and only 2 of those 6 actually ended up coming up. So we shall see. I think it's a good decision though at the end of the day. So it makes Div 3 a lot more interesting next season, I think. Well, I'm not talking about Div 3 anyway.
So yeah, is that moving on to Div 3 then?
Have you even
Everyone
chose Div
else?
2 yet?
Haven't you done my Div 2 yet?
Well, I said Tarsi, but I think everyone is gonna agree on that. So
Yeah, I think Dorsey.
at the moment.
I
I think
think-
Dorsey might.
Hold on
might
here,
get
hold on
moved
here.
soon, to be honest
Hold
with
on
you.
now. First of all, I'll be crying. Alright? Second of all, we're missing Rockamad. Rockamad is a top driver. I think he's more than capable of running away with the division. Like, if you take away Sam Rando Bennett from last season's elite, last season's Div 2, I think Rockamad probably would have had more than enough points to win the title. It's just, he just needs to sort out his consistency.
The only problem, well, it was a flaw in both Dorsey and Rockamad last season. Same with lots of Plain Teddy as well. All three of them were very, very quick in quali, and they struggled a lot in the race. I don't know what it was. I mean, that was the main reason why Dorsey came down in the first place, because it was just how he just couldn't put it together when it got into a 50% race, and like heavy fuel and that was really just didn't disagree with Stomach, but yeah. So that was a big factor, because I think both of them, Teddy did as well actually. So all three of them finished in the bottom half last season, and they raced well over half of it. I mean, I'll say I finished ahead of them all, but yeah, not to toot me own horn or anything, but you know. Yeah, I think
Yeah, so
personally,
yeah, go on.
I still think it's going to be Benz that's going to win it. I don't think he's changed anything, and last couple of races he was quick, and he got very harshly denied his first win in Abu Dhabi, and he was looking very quick there, so I would expect something like that from him.
Yeah, so if no one else thinking anyone else in Div 2, I guess we'll move to Div
Yeah,
3.
Yeah.
So what are you saying, Div 3 then? Champion Div 3 will be...
I think
SLR Steve-O.
Nah. Don't do me like that.
I think-
love to see it.
I
Colden.
think it'll be SLR Colden up the
Yeah,
Merc.
I
I'm
think
not
it'll be as
biased
well.
at all. I'm not biased at all.
I think
actually-
he's been a
I
big
actually
name
think
that
it
people
will
have
be.
been saying about, especially after that P2 in Abu Dhabi, or at the end of the season.
I'd love Colin to win it, but I think Garrett's gonna actually win it.
I think it's between three of them. I think it'd be either Gareth, Dodgy, or Crafty. If I had to choose one, I think it would be Gareth.
I mean, Crafty's a big shout.
I think I've said this for a long, long time. Crafty is criminally underrated, and I was
Oh, yeah.
so gutted for him that he didn't get any wins last season, because he's very consistent, and you always end up seeing him in the top three. How many times has he been on that podium interview? He's a very underrated driver in Div 3. But I think Dodgy's certainly improved since he's got his wheel. He was fast anyway, but he's faster now. And I do think that Steve-O's definitely the favourite. I'd love to see Scott win it rather, just because he's a hero. And I do want to see Colden do well as well, because he's, for me, the most improved in that division. 100% the most improved driver
Well.
since he started.
Okay.
You heard it first, folks. Get it is spoken. Therefore, it is fact.
I think that, to be fair, I think it's because obviously where I was in Div 3 last season, and I had the opportunity to race most of it and to watch a few races as well. Obviously because of my connection. I think that's realistic. I don't think I'm too far wrong, if I'm honest. I just do think Gareth and Dodgy and Crafty are definitely the ones we got to look out for.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see.
I would love to add Hypers in there, but it's definitely towards the back end of last season. He seems to struggle quite a lot. I didn't see his name pop up that much compared to what we'd seen before, especially in the early seasons, where I think didn't he only race two of the top four, and he got like a podium in each of them, and I think won one of them, and everyone was like, oh well, get him to do it too, and then then from about Britain onwards, I didn't really see too much of him personally. I think
Yeah,
might be
I
a
think
controversial everything I've been saying
he's-
tonight, but I don't really care.
He's quite quick, his Hypers.
Yeah.
Decent lad as well. He certainly has a lot of potential. I think just a couple of races he just lost his head a couple of times. I think one of them was Spa, had a good qualifying session and ended up crashing out, stuff like that. I think if he can just sort out his consistency, he'll be decent next season.
Alrighty.
Alright, moving on to joint constructors.
Yeah, joint constructors.
Up
I
to
think-
McLaren.
I think it'll be a classic in real life version of a 3-horse race of Merc, Renault and McLaren. But who do you think will finish bottom? No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into that. I don't want to name and shame, because everyone in this division deserves their seat. And sometimes the cookie don't crumble your way, and you get bad results over and over again. So nothing can really always go your way. Otherwise, it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it?
Like in the other way as well. Like you can get results out of the blue.
Exactly. You could get a Merck's got third in Britain. You could get and it was a surprises. Colton's second in Abu Dhabi. You got Colt's win in Britain as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff, really. Crispy's pole in Bahrain, that came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, that was mental. I remember commentating that. I was like, how did he manage that?
He was averaging like an 8th, 9th all session, and then boom, pole position.
Just slap you around just a backhand slap around the face. That was.
Yeah, definitely to me, because I was celebrating like I got pole, and then Mitzi slapped me around the face, and then Crispy slapped me around the face, and I got demoted back to third.
But you'll get pole this season, up the road.
Oh, hopefully. No, realistically, I'm hoping for a top 6 finish. I don't think anything. I don't know. I hope Mitzi can do well, because Mitzi's a fellow pad player, and I believe that he can give the fight to Ham and Jam.
I remember was it at the
course.
start of the game, it was a lot of everyone was saying, "Oh, the pad's so much more overpowered, like compared to what it was last game," and all that nonsense. And so everyone was back in Mitzi for the title, weren't they?
I mean, yeah, at the start of the game, before the performance update, the handling update, it was very, very unbalanced in terms of what was better. Pad was clearly superior, and then when China came, after China, that's when the performance update came, and that's when you saw wheels starting to dominate. But yeah, I think if the top of elite is a bad player, that would be mega. So I think that'll be the first time in SLR history of pad players won the title, the top title. Correct me if I'm wrong.
The only one I don't know was Presto, and I think he was on wheel in the first 2 seasons.
Well, I think I know who now,
that's
at least.
The champions.
Presto, Freeman, German. Is it Presto, Freeman, German? Yes. Yeah, okay.
So, up to Merck then.
Up to Merck?
Mercedes.
I think
As long as the Aussie's not getting moved up to Merck.
What do you think will be the surprise? Here we go. Surprise package of the season. Surprise package of the season for each division.
I'm going to get the title. I wish.
By the way, we forgot about F2, but no one cares about F2. It's fine.
Facts.
So we'll start with Div 3. Alright, okay, who do you think Div 3 surprise package of the season would be?
Golden.
Would you class it as a surprise package?
Okay, alright, let's change it up a bit. Let's put pressure on Southern, and let's put some pressure on Baggy as well. Alright, I think Baggy
got to
will
make
get a
sure
podium.
that there's no race clashes with West Brom. That's all.
Yeah, very true.
Is this?
I think Baggy will get at least one podium this season.
This is surprise package of the season, Rango.
Surprise package in Div 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not about to jump on the Baggy bandwagon. Sorry, Chief. I don't think he will. I think.
I'm going to say SLR Sprightly to get the top 3 of Div 3. Call it now. You heard it
That
here
was
first.
sick. I'd love that.
Surprise
I'd love that.
package of the
I
season.
would
Sprightly
absolutely-
top 3.
Yeah.
My heart would melt. My heart would melt.
Yeah, I'd
He's
be happy with that as well.
yeah. Well, it's only him and Steve-O that are ahead of me with most races without a podium.
Is Maxwell a surprise package?
That was my
Yes.
original thought. I think he'll be
Laney.
one. I think Lofty could be one
Lofty's
because he's looked
definitely,
very quick.
Lofty's definitely the biggest one, I think. Yeah.
And Cohen, I think, is going to be quite good as well this season. just from what I've seen, well, when I raced against Cohen, he was quite very solid in the Div 2 versus Div 3 race. I mean, I did kind of make it, somehow managed to send him like straight on at the bus stop chicane somehow without even making any contact, but I still think he's definitely going to be decent. And he's got decent pace. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something decent from him, like maybe a top 10 finish this season, which would be nice for him.
Okay, moving on to Div 2 then, yeah? So Div 2, a lot of strong contenders. But, you know, I reckon one of Craig will be right up there for the title fight already.
Oh, yeah.
I like to see Craig do well. See Craig go.
Someone is going to do what? I feel like the title's going to be quite close. Like overall, there's going to be a few guys that you could think of just for the title, let alone anything else. But of course, there's a few standout names.
Panther.
Oh,
yeah.
Div 2, another Merc boy. Oh,
I'm getting on that Panther train right now. I hope he has a great season.
I think personally he's already he's too high up that he shouldn't be a surprise package. Personally, that's
I
just
think
me.
he's the top 5 already.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's transitioning to wheel, so make him a bit of leeway.
On wheel as well, isn't he? So
Yeah, he's been given it the sweat fest that I've been giving it with my ABS, and I think he's definitely adapted well.
It's tricky from a personal level. If I look at them as a team, obviously I'm going to be competing against them this season. But like, I want them to do well. I want them to do well. Just like, because obviously Merck hasn't done well. But I look at their team, and they're all just. I mean, it sounds like a real weird thing to say because you're in the party, but they're just a good bunch of lads in that Mercedes team. I kind of want to see them all do well. So it's not like
facts.
Mate,
it's
Oh,
only
and,
saying
yeah, and
it's
you
like-
as well. So
they're
like,
all
this is
every
like-
single one. Like,
it's the
Yeah.
Mercedes master plan. I said everyone
Oh,
before
God,
before
now you're
SidePod.
Now you're gonna make
I
me
said-
hate that.
I said-
Are you gonna release
I
this?
said to everyone before the SidePod, be aware for any Mercedes propaganda because it is a very Mercedes dominant SidePod. But mate, it's all about positive vibes in Mercedes teacher. Not gonna lie,
Yeah, I can't argue with
it's absolute fingers.
that. The boys. The boys. I
Um,
hope they have a great season.
yeah,
You're an
the question is
Avatarius.
really, are we
That
going to get
I am
these
an
Mercedes
Avatarius.
videos that
Sarcastically?
you're on
That
about?
sounds sarcastically.
No, that's genuinely hand on heart. I'd like the Mercedes to have a good season.
What do you say, Owen?
Oh, Zardra's been telling us about these some like videos apparently. that
Mate,
you
Oh,
shouldn't be on.
Mercedes Master Plan
we can't be
episode
telling you
1
more about it.
is classified information.
When are we going to see it? When's it going to be
No.
released to the public?
I mean, I don't think it will. I think it'll be like kept in the Pentagon with the rest of the lads. And then, you know, well, to be fair, the allies can just bloody see it. So
Can we get like a little insight as to what exactly it is that's inside?
no,
the
classified,
it's just some
redacted,
debriefing.
redacted,
It's just
no,
some debriefing.
redacted,
Oh, it's just-
redacted. You didn't hear any of that. You didn't hear it. No, it doesn't exist.
What
None of that
doesn't?
information shall be released to the public.
What is this?
The Mercedes Master
The
Plan.
Mercedes Master Plan videos.
Oh, great.
He's so
Um,
fed up
Is
with
this
I'm still looking at the grid, and I don't
Is this
even know.
better than the?
Div
Is
2,
this better
I
than
still
the
don't really know
track
who would be
guides?
down as a surprise package.
Oh,
or
this
not.
is track guides taking it to another level.
Oh god.
I heard a little
Anyway.
rumor this week that McLaren were trying to outdo each other with the track guides.
That rumour is completely true. It's
I can't
completely
remember who
true.
told me, but I was told that there was at least two
Well,
track
we sh-
guides put in the
We
McLaren
shall,
guides.
we shall keep their names anonymous.
See, I'm not going to be like Mercedes. I will say exactly what's happened in the team chat.
Oh
so,
my goodness.
Oh,
outing
yeah.
his team. Outing
within
his
the
team.
first 30 minutes of everyone getting drawn into the team, everyone was all settled in the team. Probably before it was all settled into the team. Bang. At McLaren, track guide is up now by Freeman. So that's
No,
straight away.
no, that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it.
That's what happened, right? And so we've had a couple of times. I think he improved it again, so we sent it again. And then Rando decided he was going to have a crack at it. Because he runs slightly different, assists and whatnot to Freeman, so he was better in some places, worse in some places. It was quite interesting. So it's like,
You
once they
wouldn't
two
get
together,
this at Brackley, lads. You wouldn't get this at Brackley.
then we have a separate chat as well to just catering to Steve. It must be said. We've got a little own McLaren boys chat, which is me, Freeman, Rando, and Stevo, and we're just feeding Stevo with all the information that he needs to get his first podium, and we're just sprinkling on him every day, just getting bombarded with information. It's going to happen this season. I can feel it. I will eat my words if it doesn't. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't, but I would
This is
love to
Steve
see
we're
it this
talking
season.
about. He's capable of anything.
He's got,
See,
well, especially with
that,
Semi,
Yeah.
Rando, and Freeman, he's got a very good chance of, just because of how much they know.
I mean,
He's got a good chance of doing something.
he tends to put his overtake on in the formation lap, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like, yeah, it doesn't really help him.
I mean, coming from an outsider's point of view, it sounds like McLaren are just trying to get a tape measure out, trying to measure everyone's sizes.
If I'm being honest, there hasn't been
Come on, if you're trying to outdo each other with a track guide, come on, you're a team, especially a team
it is a
environment.
bit interesting. I mean, what Ben said
doesn't
straight
surprise
away was
me
quite
one
interesting. He said,
bit.
"I'm the team captain. Go away, Freeman. It's my
over
job."
at Brackley, right? Over at Brackley, we are all about positive vibes. The first thing I put when everyone was in, everyone was getting settled in, you know, relaxing in the armchairs, right? I established environment number one is that it's positive, all right? No problem. Do whatever you
I've
want.
got a quick question for everyone. So obviously, it doesn't apply to Elite, but in Div 1, 2, and 3, can you all give me your predictions for who you think would be the first person, if at all, it might not happen, but the first person to get moved up a division
The first person to move.
in each division?
Div 2? Lossy Div 2?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's Dorsey. I'd say Rockamad for Div 2.
I'd say
Either one of them.
SLR Dylan to swap with SLR Nikki.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
You think
Direct
Dylan
swap.
is the first one to move?
A direct swap.
I don't know. I don't really know who would be in Div
Is Nicky
1.
in
Although-
Mercedes and Elite, isn't he?
although-
No, he's not. No, he's
Oh,
not.
he's Renault.
Who
Who is?
Nicky.
Nicky, yeah.
Renault.
What I'm saying is, I'd love Dylan to stay. We all win it over at Brackley. Positive vibes. We love him.
Positive vibes.
We love him. Honestly, we couldn't get enough of him.
These
Right?
bloody positive vibes. The more you keep talking, the more you make me want you to lose. So.
But Dylan
Yes,
deserves
honestly.
that top seat again.
The
I thought it was
more
absolute
slowly
robbery
Rank is
that he got,
becoming a McLaren
he got
fan,
taken
I can
off him.
feel it.
Absolute daylight robbery that he got taken off the elite roster last season, and I think he deserves his top seat again. I don't know who he would replace because everyone's
Well,
quick enough to be there, but you know, in an ideal world, Dylan stays. We got a big group hug, and then we go home. So
I think Avatari just hates Mercedes after this cycle.
Are you drunk, Zai?
no, I'm not drunk, mate. I'm just. Oh, actually, I may be drunk on positive vibes. Positive vibes
Oh
over at
my
Brackley.
God.
Okay, nothing.
Is that the end of the side pod now, yeah?
All right, we've capped out at 31, boys. We'll see you never.
But is that everything?
I mean,
No,
realistically.
I was joking.
I think we were
but-
halfway through Div 2's elite surprise package, so I think we'll move on to Div 1.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat, I will throw out an accusation that. Oh, I don't know. Oh, do you know what? I'll give it Rando. Rando surprise package to finish in the top 10 of Div 1 at the end of the season. Just through
Yeah.
sheer consistency.
I would like to see that.
Is that a surprise, sir?
Someone that I feel like
I wouldn't say it's
could do
surprising.
a lot better than he did last season. Connor, I reckon, will do a lot better this season than he did last season.
Oh, Connor's a shout. Yeah, I forgot about Connor.
I don't know if he'll be right up the top because I know he struggled a lot in the racing again. I mean, he puts a lot of time and effort into the game, but every now you just can't get it. I've noticed. Well, at least that's what I noticed a lot. Like he set some ridiculous time trial laps, and he never can quite replicate them on the day. But I think he's going to get a lot closer this season, and I reckon he'll get close to the top half. I'm feeling it. I don't know why. I feel like Connor's going to have a good year this year. Maybe. We'll see.
Do you know what I hope he does? Kind of the top geezer. He's passionate about the game. He always wants to improve. Runs no assists. Use cockpit. So maybe that he should be penalised for using cockpit. Who knows? But all in all, I would love to see it. I'd love to see Connor put it out of the bag for a solid finish in Div 1.
Are we allowed to add reserve drivers to our list of surprise packages?
I think we'll leave them out for now because we're not kind of certain on their destination.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think Riggs.
Oh,
Be a shout.
it would be a great show.
So
Think
some
he's
good
gonna- I
pace and
think
some
he'll-
races towards into the back of last season.
He's got one race win last season. I think he'll get a couple more this season.
Yeah, I think
I'd
that was
like
just
him
I
to.
think that was just a stepping stone.
Yeah, I think he'll.
What he can
A
achieve.
leap
well.
of faith into the unknown.
Rango, this is your stomping grounds, mate. I think you should get involved.
So that again, sorry.
Surprise package Div 1.
Surprise
Yourself.
package Div 1. Myself? You know that?
I mean, you've been towards the top end of Div 1 for a long time.
Exactly, so I wouldn't be surprised, would I?
Oh. Oh dear. Positive vibes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's off Tari, so no positive.
Let me see.
No, honestly, it's just
I'm
like,
gonna
we're
go-
spreading it now. It's spreading. Honestly, I
I'm
just love to see
going
it.
to go with Riggsy.
Oh, is it another one for Riggsy?
Riggsy or Liam.
Yeah, could be a
Liam
shout.
got
I can
Liam-
see him doing a lot
Do
better than
you know
he
what,
did
yeah?
last
Liam got
season.
absolutely finesse last season, and he's so much better than what he showed. So
Yeah.
The first couple of Div 1 races I commentated on, I always looked at Liam and he looked like he was doing it with ease. Didn't he look like he was putting an ounce of like... He looked like he did it. It looked like effortless, his driving. So I think if he steps up his pace, he can easily achieve the best results. It's just so satisfying to watch Liam race.
He got hurt quite a lot, quite similar to how I did with the new game change. Like when we went over into the new game, because he was beating quite a fair few people that are in the division last season. I mean, he didn't quite drop off as much as I did because we were very similar pace. But yeah, he can get back up there. I can feel it. It's always the second season on the game is always the more exciting one, I feel. Which is why we're in for an
because-
absolute corker this year.
I've always thought season 1 of a new game has always been like a kind of a gauge to where everyone's pace is, which is probably why last season you saw so many people move up and down, up and down.
Mm.
But I think that's what I mean by the second season. I think a lot more people will stick put, and I don't think the movements will be as kind of hesitant, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't think they'll be moving people up because they're afraid they're going to dominate the league, because they already know their pace. They've already seen them over a season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think every division, maybe elite, you can't really call the title.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But
There's a
even
lot of
in
people you
elite,
can
there's it's 1 of 4, 1 of 3. Yeah.
Every other division, there could genuinely about like 1 in 10 could win the title.
I mean,
one of about 10 of
I think
them.
we should run our own betting odds, if you ask me.
I agree.
yeah,
Probably
I'm
should
happy
bet
to.
bookies.
Yeah, I'll start that. That'll probably pay for my uni fees.
Because everyone will just bet on you, and then you'll just purposely throw.
No one in their
Right.
right mind would bet on me.
We'll just
I would.
contact William Hill, see what they can sort out for us. Get a little,
I might just sky
little
request
accas
that.
on for every race weekend. Got a
Get
for
a
any
sponsorship
race
deal.
by day. You've got every race you got to pick the winner. A little acca going on.
That'd be cool.
300 to 1. Can we ship it
I
out
mean,
for
I don't quite know
four
how it would
Mercedes
work
wins?
because I don't think we'd be allowed to bet because we're so in close relations to the drivers.
Yeah. Plus, yeah.
We'd all get
people
banned
who
by the
are-
FA.
People who are under. Obviously, we've got the 16 plus rule, but anyone who's between 16 or 16 or who's 16 or 17 wouldn't be able to take part. So that's
Yeah.
that's
All about
obvious
including
one.
everyone at SLR, apart from anyone who's under 16.
Yeah.
Time to up the age limit.
Hey, 18. Rip Rando. Actually, to be fair, rip half the a lot of people. To be fair. Anyway,
Yeah,
moving
take
on.
a lot of people out of the picture.
As we previously mentioned, Elite surprise package. I'm going to throw out there, and Ghost. I'm not going to say Ghost Car's surprise package because I think he already was last season. I think he
Yeah.
did get a driver's driver of the season, Ghost Car. Because Wellon is right to get it. He had a mega season. He started off with a P2, got a win in Britain, got a lot of solid results. We also you have to rule out Crispy for a surprise package because he's only got most improved. But who you lads crack off? You crack off with your surprise package of the season.
Surprise package. I would look at when I'm thinking of surprise package. I'd want to look at maybe the guys that took part in Elite Point 5, as it was named. I would look towards that sort of area, that sort of place of someone that could be a surprise package this season. And as much as I'd love to say Beast, I feel like Darnell's probably got the best shout of something really good this season. Don't know why. Just feel like it. Put him under
Okay,
some pressure.
Darnell. Darnell definitely has the pace, especially this week. I reckon he's the one to watch for this week in Australia.
Whoa.
Get us what you're saying.
Obviously, I said Southerners earlier. I also think maybe Mercs. Maybe.
Mercs, surprise package. Trying to take the reins at Red Bull. His first shot
maybe-
at team captain.
Maybe Crispy.
Okay, we already ruled that out, so nice.
Maybe who did you say?
Crispy. Might
Oh,
do
yeah,
alright.
yeah.
I think realistically, it's kind of.
I mean, he
think it's
got
quite difficult with
most
Louis.
improved driver of the season, so would you even class him as a surprise package? Because he's already
Yes,
been
and-
recognised, has he not?
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
I mean, obviously, you feel free to vote him anyway. I don't mind.
I said it
I
in,
think.
in
I
my
think.
little driver grid, my little season 6 driver lineups kind of video that I made today. I said for the YouTube and the TikTok, just a little plug for you all. Yeah, he is already out if you haven't seen. It went out at 8. But yeah, I said that Midzi and Crispy is going to be one of the top driver pairings this season.
I mean, yeah, I think
Tasty little lineup.
the
double
ones to
power.
beat would be Freeman and Colt, I think.
True, yeah.
But AlphaTauri, Renault, and Williams, Mercedes. It's quite a big fight for the elite constructors, I'd say.
It can be a tasty
And
one.
my new teammate Kevin, we have Abu Dhabi quote unquote pre-season test, if you will, because he joined in with the Abu Dhabi elite race. But I don't know. We don't know what kind of pace he'll bring. But I'm very hopeful for my teammate. He's got a surprise package, and that's why he's my vote for surprise package of the season.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Goes too fast.
Kevin, you guys haven't seen Kevin. Kevin's been in the Mercedes team chat.
Good. Has he put enough messages in compared to last season?
To be fair, he hasn't been as active as I would have expected, but mate, this man, he's there in spirit, and just his attitude.
It's
just-
tough, but
It's great. But I wouldn't rule out Race Roller. Race Roller, I reckon, will get a top 10 finish this season. If not, he'll probably get a top 8 finish. I reckon he'd be in the shout for best of the rest.
didn't Race Rider finish in the top 10 last year?
I mean, yes. Of course he did. But what I'm saying is, Elite stepped up a level. I think it's
Yeah.
much quicker this year than last season. And I think Race Royal can even build on that top 10 and get best of the rest, which would be about a
Okay, Tom's going to get
P5
the
to
title.
7.
Heard it here first. There you go.
P5 to 7 kind of area. Don't know what you're saying as a former resident of the elite geezers. All right, good comms. Good comms.
Dylan?
Dylan, you're out there.
Well, is there anything more to say? I'm
I
not sure if
kind
you
of took the
asked a
reins
question
there
or-
for elite. Sorry, my apologies.
Oh, sorry, mate. That's alright. I just tried to do some time trial laps.
What?
Well, I guess that's all right, isn't it?
I think
I
that's
think
everything
so.
we have to cover.
Yeah. If no one else has anything more to say, I'll invite you to join next Wednesday again. What track is it next Wednesday for the
Sorry.
Wednesday
Oh,
race?
I think it is Italy. If I'm
Shall
not
I have a
mistaken.
look?
Yeah, but if it's
I shall
Italy.
have a look myself. Oh, Italy.
I thought it was Spain.
It's Spain. It's Spain.
Yeah.
Fucking not it.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Fucking
whoa,
no. Oh, sorry.
whoa,
for
whoa!
the
Where's the
vibes.
positive vibes, Dylan?
Spain. It will provide absolutely intoxicating racing for the viewers next week. I can't wait. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
I mean, I cannot wait for an absolute DRS fest because it's Spain, and Spain is a
I
bad
mean,
track.
the worst part about this is the fact that I might somehow managed to get P7. Although the AlphaTauri looked quite good today, so who knows? Maybe it'll be okay. But yeah.
I got a front wing full of crispy, so that was nice.
You know, I spun 3 times and somehow managed P. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like I think the
No,
top 6 were all quite close. So they were within 25 seconds, and then I was 25 seconds behind the next person. So
Yeah, I think that's everything we have to cover. I
That
think.
concludes it. Yeah, that concludes it. Well, thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.
I'll speak to you guys next Wednesday. Up the Merc. Oops. Oops. Up the Merc.